So I'm going to share with you here some eBay sales I made on the 22nd of May 2025 here. I got new eBay feedback and I have some eBay listing updates on auctions that I'm running. So here we are. So I shared with you the Connect Sports Season 2 game, but then I saw this morning, I saw an OEM. I saw this at 11:55 this morning. Right about noon, it was my time. It is an OEM Briggs & Stratton intake manifold 794305. This was off that Lawn Boy walk behind mower. I parted out. And now I have 7 parts left from the engine or the mower itself. They have a mower part number. It includes like the engine part numbers. That some of the diagrams they just include like they don't include the engine parts. Some diagrams some of the diagrams include the engine parts. Some don't. Just depends, But in this, so for $7.79 free shipping. So I didn't make a ton of profit on this. I made $1.51 profit on it, but I got for free. I got for free. Came off, or not free, but it was $5 for the whole lawnmower, and it's already well paid for. So it's kind of like extra gravy, just profit on top. So I'm happy with that. And then this is an official OEM. Wait, Microsoft's Xbox 360 PC where control test the working read. This is one that was my own personal controller I got. Don't remember where I got it, if I got it eBay or it came with a controller, or it might have got it off eBay, I think, or Mercari, or got it somewhere, I can't remember where. Honestly, remember when. But this sold for $13.50 free shipping. This didn't really have a bidding war. It had a lot of it. What it did is it was at 4 days, 7 hours, 53 minutes. Like it was for like 3 days, like it was since 3 days, like almost 3.5 days. It was at like 4.25 for a while, like from 3 days ago to like it's about basically like 2 days. For like 2 days straight, it was basically at like 4.25, and that's when it got like it got a bunch of views in the beginning, or a bunch of watchers, I should say, in the beginning. Got a bunch of watchers in the beginning, a decent amount, and then when it got some bids, to funnel in like best match search, or some people seen that was a good item because it had bids on it. Some people are more like, hey, I'm gonna bid on it. I'm gonna watch my watches. People are buying this. This must be a good item. So it sold for $13.50. So someone bid it to 6 all the way to from 4.25 to 6 to 10 to 11 and to 13. And then someone who bid, they bid 3.25 and they had a max at they won at $13.50. That's not necessarily their max was at $13.50. You have no idea what the max actually is for you have no idea what the max actually is, but I mean, the only way you actually know what the max is if say JTO 305 and RYP-1853, if JTO 305 and RYPE-1853 say they both say RYPE 1853 bid $13, and then JTO 305's max bid was 13 as well. It would show that both bids at 13, and then would say like 4 days ago, and then it would say like RYPE like a day ago at like 13, and you would know that, hey, like the max bid from JTO 305 was hit, so that means you win it, But yeah, $13.50 free shipping, not too shabby right there. I'm not too mad about it, I mean, yeah, it didn't sell as much as a wireless controller, but I thought it might sell a little bit more. I mean, there's more common than, like, because you might have a lot of the third-party Xbox 360 controllers from back in the day. I think either most of them, or I think all of them, had to be like wired controllers actually. So like that's why you see like the Rock Candies and all the third parties being wired, because they were they had to be wired, back in the day, or maybe Microsoft required them to be wired. There's still 5 watchers, 9 bits, 1650 for the 700, 305 rupees jigsaw puzzles. And then I listed a lot of Xbox 360 games. I had NCAA Football 12. I listed like a month ago. I put on Buy It Now, and then I decided to put NASCAR 08 because that had a summoning card, but then someone didn't buy it. It got unbought, and it got taken out of their card. And it says in one card and didn't see one card anymore. So I delisted. So then I got delisted that like today. I delisted NCAA Football 12, and I add some games just recently, like Sonic Furious from yesterday. I had Connectimals from today because I want to get Connectimals now with Bears DLC, because you can buy it physically, the Now with Bears DLC. So I do that. And Sonic Free Riders is one of those games where it works. Like the controls are like the sensing in this game is like pretty bad. Like the implementation, it's pretty bad, awful. Like it works. Like I even tried the time trial one, like for the achievement to do one time trial race, and you can do it any time you want. You just have to post the time to finish one time trial, and actually post your time to leaderboard. Your gamer tag and then your score, and for that course, and it's like really like, and yeah, it doesn't work. Like that's not that great, Like did enough to just do it, but it's like, you can't really turn that well, with it. You can't really turn that well, so it's like not that great, NBA 2K11, yeah, I tried it. Like doing I did the basic achievements with like, you know what I mean? I did the basic achievements, but it's kind of like otherwise, like the achievements are kind of like, I mean, my career achievements, I tried doing them, and they're like hard. It's like a lot harder my career than my careers I'm used to in like the NBA 2K, like 15, 16, like 17, 18. All the my careers that I've done, the newer my careers, with the same the achievement list. It's actually a lot more difficult because what you do in this one is you play 3 games with players that are going to get drafted in the NBA draft that year, that are actual players that got drafted in the league, and then you're playing yours, and you try to draft your way into the teams, and then the scouts are watching. It's like a showcase kind of. You're you're playing in front of the scouts, basically, is what you're doing. And then you do that, and then you get drafted, and then you do like summer league, and try to make your way to a team through. You have to perform on summer league, and you have to complete like the objectives in the summer league games. And if you can do that, what your coach is looking from you, and if you can, then you move on. I'm saying, you make the team or whatever. Yeah, and I was gonna list these individually, but Connectimals is like in the condition it's in, acceptable condition because of the cover. It looks like it's got a little water damage on the outside of the cover, or the outside paper, and there's rips in the plastic starting to happen. And then the side for same thing, and there's a logo in the manual of the NBA 2K line. So it's like, yeah, you can see right there. And there's a crack right there in the center. So, and only worth like $2 even auction. It's like worth like $2.06. Free shipping. I think like a pawn shop sold it for like that much. I believe that's a pawn shop that sold it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna list it for I'm just gonna list it on, throw it in this auction, So, I mean, yeah, I don't want to list some of the games. I don't mind listing separately, like the Plants vs Zombies listed separately. Yeah, I don't mind listing that separately. I don't mind listing I don't mind listing like that because I know it'll sell separately. Because I know people are looking for like Plants vs Zombies because people like Plants vs Zombies, like PopCap Lego games. Like people like the PopCap games. People like PopCap games. Like they do, And a lot of people, oh, there's a good bit of people that actually like the original Plants vs Zombies over Plants vs Zombies 2. That was recent, like iPad, iPhone, like Android phones and tablets. Might also release in like Kindle Fire. I'm not for sure if it was released in Kindle Fire, but I know it's on Android, like iPhone, like iPad, devices like iOS, and I know it was released on Android phones and tablets, which is essentially anything that's not like Apple device, basically, any brand that's not Apple, like an iPhone, like Apple branded phone is like Android. So yeah, I mean, so I know that would sell. Some games would sell separately. Like if you have a game that's worth like a $20 game, or something, the more expensive the game, the more sought after the more people might be looking for it, Or if it's like a $20 game, yeah, I don't mind listing it on auction, because I know I can get, if it's say worth an average $20, I might be able to get at least $15 for an auction, I've done that before, right? So I did that with NCAA football 14, back when it was a little bit higher priced. I bought it for like, I want to say like $90. This was a little bit before like College Football 25 came out. Or before, I think they were either like just teasing it or like they were just in like very early development of it, and I just noticed it. Price went down a little bit to like $75, $80. I think it was like $75, like $76 free shipping, or $76 plus shipping or something on auction starting at 99 cents. So that's fine because now if I list it, I might just get like $25, $30 for it, or I might get like say like $20 or $30 or something for it, but I'm not going to get like a fortune as much, as I did even then. So if I saw it now, so yeah, and it has a watch on it, early watch on it. It has 3 early views on it, and it has an early watch on it. I sold it. I started at 8 p.m. the same time my Xbox 360 controller ended at. So I'm happy, And then that ends. The Jigsaw puzzles end Memorial Day at 7 p.m. Central Time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Xbox 360 games, they end at 8 p.m. Central on next week, Thursday, 28th. So, which is 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. And it really doesn't matter. I was looking at these game lots. Some of these game lots, like the ones with the most bids most first, they actually, I'm looking at the times they end at even. Like they end at like different times. Not the prices. Some, you might have like a more expensive games. Like there's some in there I seen one spec game at like $1,500. They have like a bunch of expensive games in there mixed in. Sure, I'm not, that someone didn't know about that were like, someone might have known that they were worth more. Someone didn't, or maybe they just wanted to say, well, here, I want to get rid of I want to sell those one, to put the expensive ones in. Someone, it might have been someone that didn't know because they just said Xbox 360 games left. It didn't say with rare games or nothing like that, so, or hard to find games or something like this, so. And then I have a feedback here. It says, for the Lawn by Walkman Grass Bag 107-39 in frame 112-E750-03. This item was not only exactly as described, but better than it appeared in the pictures. I am one happy mowing man. So that is awesome to hear that this person was happy with their Lawn by Walkman Grass Bag in frame. It's basically like for grass and like leaves, you know, like if you lose, they try to mulch up their lawns, like mulch up leaves and stuff like that in their yard that fall, and that's basically what that's used for. So yeah, and then I have 7 items from that one lawnmower. So from the lawnmower walk behind the lawnmower, I have the lower handle assembly tubes. I have the OEM ignition switch and mount, switch and key, and then that's 2. I have the crankshaft, which is 3, and then I have the muffler guard, which is 4. And then 5 is the muffler with shoulder bolts. And then 6 is the air cleaner base and cover. And then 7 is the OEM blower housing with the rewind stir, the housing and rewind stir together. And then I have 4 parts with it. I have for the next one, for the Craftsman. So I have 10 more things to put out on that thing. Minimum. Which I'm going to do over the week or the Memorial Day holiday. I'm going to do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday for sure. Depends what I'm doing Monday, Memorial Day. Or if I get it done, But I'm going to report that out, in like listed eBay, but I listed the Briggs & Stratton gas fuel tank OEM, the housing and blower housing unit stir, the air filter base and cover, and then Craftsman has a score on a blade adapter.